Hello basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training. Today, this video is directed more towards the coaches on how they can teach their team how to shoot the basketball. Now, as a youth basketball coach, there's two things that you're probably going to be teaching your team first, and that is how to dribble the basketball and how to shoot the basketball. And today, we're going to be talking about how to shoot a basketball. So how I like to teach how to shoot a basketball, I like to see first, what is the player's dominant hand? So I would ask, which hand do you write in school with? Or which hand do you color with? That kind of thing. And if they say right, then they are right-handed. If they say left, they're left-handed. Now, I'm going to be doing the right-handed shooting because I'm right-handed. However, it's the same exact tools and things that you would do with the left-handed player. So first thing first, I would have my players have their feet shoulder-width apart. And I wouldn't even be having a basketball net at this point. I would just spread my players out and just have their feet shoulder-width apart. Next, I would have the basketball in their right hand. And then, depending on their age, even if they're very young, I would still teach them this way. Like, even if they're 6 years old, I still teach them this way. This is how I used to teach at the YMCA way back when I was in high school. And basically, one hand, and then if they can't get the ball up like this with one hand, just have them go up with two hands and then drop the one hand off and see if they can balance it. If they can balance it, you're all set. And then I would have them, and I would say, make sure that you can fit one finger between your palm and the basketball. And if they can do that in their hand just like this, and then they bring the basketball up and say, make sure that space is still there. And then if you want, you can walk around and see if that space is still there. And then I would say to them, throw it straight up in the air, like that. And I can almost guarantee you, most of them are going to even have backspin. If they don't have backspin, that's when I would instruct my players to do the same thing, have the ball up again, and then have it roll off your fingers. And then if you want, you can even show your players having it roll off your fingers. And how you would do that is by flicking your wrist. You're going to be flicking your wrist, and that is just as simple as it gets. Just flick your wrist, it's going to come right back to you. And then, once they get that a few times, for the left-hand players, again, same thing, just left hand. And then, once they get that a few times, I would have them now put their feet together. And I don't know if you can see this, I'll step it back a bit in the camera. But your right foot's going to be a little bit ahead of the left foot. And then I would have them doing the exact same thing. By having the right foot in front, if you're right-handed, that's going to allow you to now have a farther shot. So it's going to help them shoot farther and higher, and because especially if they're younger. So then I would still have them shoot a few more into the air. And I would probably do this for a good 5 minutes. You don't want to go past 5 minutes with this because the kids are going to get bored. They're going to start acting out, and you don't really want that if they're like 5 or 6 years old. Then I would bring them up to a net. And I would quite literally have the players about a foot away from the net. They're not going to be able to shoot that far if they're 5 or 6 years old. And how I would instruct them is that same shot we were just taking with one hand. We're going to do the exact same shot from here. This way, we're not starting any bad habits with two-hand shooting, because we really don't want to have that. Because when they get older, it takes a while from the switch over from this shot or this shot to this shot. It takes a bit of time. Usually around grade 3, grade 4, they switch over, and then it just takes a whole long time. So if you can get them shooting with proper form straight away, you're going to have an easier time 2 or 3 years down the road. And if you don't have a net that's shorter, then you can even set up a hula hoop that's hanging from the rim so that now they have at least something to shoot at. However, if they have a small enough basketball and they're in some kind of shape and they're not like a twig that doesn't eat, then they should be able to get the ball up with one hand to the rim. And all we're looking for is a shot that goes in. We're not looking for a swish. I don't care about a swish. We're just looking for a shot that goes in. And then, if you have a group of kids, you can have 3 lines. You're going to have a line here, on the left side. You can have a line in front, and a line on the right side. And then, basically, what they're going to be doing, and if they're not left-handed, they're not going to be shooting with their left hand. They're going to be shooting with the right hand. Once they hit that shot, they go in the back of this line. Kids do shooting, gets back up here, and then he's going to be shooting one hand. If he misses, who cares? And then he's going to go in the back of this line. Kids shoot, and then if he misses, who cares? But at least now they're getting used to shooting. And then a couple of weeks down the road, you can now bring in that left hand, because in game, they're not going to be shooting like this, because it's just not going to make sense if you're playing a small little game. They're going to be shooting like this. However, they know in practice that they shoot like this. And now this is when you can start teaching them that the left hand is just for guidance. And if they miss, who cares? And the left hand is just there so that the ball doesn't roll out, because their hands aren't big like us adults. And even then, the left hand for us adults in game is so that it's harder to get blocked. You have more control if you want to go around, things like that. And then I also like to teach in-game actions. And this is like running up to, dribbling the ball up to the basket and taking a shot, things like that. I always like to get, especially at the young age, the players playing in practice like they would in games. So we would start at the free throw line. They would take 1 or 2 dribbles in. I would have them stop on both feet, and then they're going to go up for their shot. If they miss, who cares? I can't believe I'm missing. That went in, that's as good. But once they take their shot, they're going to go in the back of the line. Next player goes, he's going to be dribbling up, jump stop, shot, get his rebound, pass the next person in line. And then, if you want, you can get a pylon, just like we have over here. And now we have a pylon on the court, and now we can go and mix together some of our dribbling skills that we've been working on through the week into now shooting and dribbling skills. So we can dribble up with our right hand, we can do a crossover to the left hand and back, take 1 or 2 dribbles, depending on how old they are, but they might want to get closer or farther away, and take that shot. And then have them do the same thing, dribble up with their left hand, cross over to the right, cross over back, take a dribble or 2, and let them take their shot. And this way, now they're getting ready to be in an actual game. They're getting the basics down to play basketball in a game. I hope that this video helps you and your team shoot the basketball better. If it does, let us know in the comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again later today for the second video of the day.